Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the dawn of a new era. Welcome to the second anniversary of KPW War Zone. It is I, Tavy Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we are hot off the heels of one of the most impactful shows in KPW history. We are, of course, talking about Spring Stampede. We've seen a changing of the guards, if you will, as we have a new, definitive, undisputed KPW World Heavyweight Champion, and his name is Popcorn Papi. We will be seeing him in the main event here tonight, as we have received information that he will be celebrating this monumental victory in tag team exhibition with his Bunker Hill brethren. A Bunker Hill tag team matchup. Oppo, Solo, K-Dog, and Popcorn Papi all sharing the ring at the same time in the main event. But speaking of tag team action, look no further, because we have plenty of tag team action to come. The BamBus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino will be in action later on tonight against High Velocity. Atmosphere Ozone making their grand return to the tag team division here tonight. But that is not all, folks. If you want to talk about championships, if you want to talk about implications, few people made an impact quite as large on Saturday night as our new KPW Twitch Champion, one of two new free agent signees, T Nova, as he'll be going one-on-one against one of the most high-profile competitors from Saturday night's Lethal Lottery match. We are, of course, talking about Dynamite Danny Axel. In Danny Axel's first ever matchup here on Warzone. Also, still to come, the American Championship will be up for grabs, as the war hero, a man that's been with KPW since the very beginning, Sergeant Foxtrot, looks to break the championship curse here tonight against the 300-pound woolly mammoth, Big Bernard. But to kick off the show here tonight, we have quite the star-studded match to bring to you, as the director, Steven Gielberg, will be going one-on-one against the man they call Ding to open the show. What tonight represents isn't just the dawn of a new era for KPW as a whole. This is a new beginning for a man like Ding, a man that vanquished his demons in the physical representation of Robbie Deuce this past Saturday night. One of the most intense bouts of the evening. And that's the $1 million question across the board for both of these men. Where do they go from here? What is their next major step here? As the director, Steven Gielberg, he marches down to the ring. This big, nasty bastard of a man. He's made a serious name for himself in the past several months, picking up serious victories over the likes of Pierre Cinema and, of course, the 2026 Lethal Lottery winner, Jedi. Dragon Screw taking Ding off his feet, but Ding knows how to neutralize the opponent. And that classic Ding charm. A hat trick of low blows. Dinger splash in the corner. And let's do a little bit of a history lesson here. When Ding made his return to KPW back at Collision Course in November, this man, Steven Gielberg, he was the first target, the first recipient in Ding's path of revenge, his quest to hunt down Robbie Deuce. This is potential retribution for Steven Gielberg here tonight, but it's not looking so great in the opening minute. Another low blow to the director. Dragon Screw taking down Steven Gielberg, working down those knees of the director. Extensively braced up for tonight's event. A big clubbing strike to the back of the head. And Ding is on fire here tonight. He is moving like a man possessed. A whip into the corner. Steven Gielberg stumbling into no man's land. Scorpion, Ding, drop. And this could be it before it even began. This very well could have been the worst weekend in the history of Steven Gielberg's career. Not only did he take on two new signees in James KZ and in our new Twitch champion T Nova this past Saturday night, he has been categorically outclassed here tonight in our opening bout against the man they call Ding. As the icon, the vengeful spirit himself, he has set his eyes on a new target. The KPW World Heavyweight Championship. As I understand, though, can't talk much about Ding without bringing up his adversary, the man that he beat this past weekend. One Mr. Robbie Deuce. I understand that we might have some cameras rolling backstage here between him and an old familiar face from his past. Looking to see what that is all about here, folks, as this situation is developing.
Robbie, what the hell was that last week? You know the history we've had, man. Via Jedi, Stephen James. We ruled the wrestling world until you stunk up the joint and made a whole heap of trouble for yourself. I hoped I would never see your face ever again, but apparently those hopes died when Jedi took off your mask. I want to hear why you went about your business this way a week ago, and this better be good.
Danny, you know how far back we go with each other. You don't remember those crazy parties we threw in our tours of the Buddha car? I know you can be quite hot-headed sometimes. What you saw last week was simple, man. When I hit that old ungrateful bastard with the plunge, I knew you were gonna see that, if not hear about it. I just gotta come clean, man. These past 18 months haven't been what I hoped for. Ding served me some serious humble pie at the Stampede. I just need some kind of guiding light. Please, I just need a helping hand.
Guiding light? What talk is this?
An old man as a cry for help? And you want me to enable everything you've stirred up here in KPW? You really think I don't expect you to try and stab me in the back once the guard comes down? Get out of my face, Deuce. I got a match to prep for.
I never said I did anything wrong. Come on, man. Don't make me beg.
Robbie Deuce, he is just in absolute desperation here tonight. Running to the assistance of his old partner in Dynamite, Danny Axel. But on the flip side, look at a man that has quite the upward trajectory here in KPW. The 300-pound woolly mammoth, Big Bernard, as he looks to take on the KPW American Champion, the Sarge, a war hero, and the man that is looking to break the championship curse here tonight, Sergeant Foxtrot. Ever since the American Championship was introduced back in November, there has not been a single man that has successfully defended the championship. Our first American champion, Bob, was not able to defend the gold in his first attempt. He lost it to Popo. Popo held on to that belt for about a month before he was bested by the 400-pound Papyrus.
3, 4.
1 month later, Papyrus would go on to drop the American Championship himself to a critical member of Bunker Hill in Solo. And then just last month on the 100th episode of War Zone, Solo would go on to drop the American Championship. He would be bested by Sergeant Foxtrot. He may have a size disadvantage going into tonight's bout, but if anybody has the skill set, if anybody has the skin in the game, the tools necessary to survive here tonight, it's the Sarge. Big Bernard pushing Sergeant Foxtrot in the corner. A bit of a continuation from the Lethal Lottery match this past Saturday night. These two threw down in that 20-man battle royal. We saw the likes of Dynamite Danny Axel, as mentioned before, Corey Sinclair, a man that lasted longer than anybody else in this match. Opulence, Pierre Cinema, and of course the winner of that bout, the man that drew that lucky number 20, that jackpot, the Viceroy Jedi. Swinging neck breaker by Big Bernard. That all-natural ghillie suit. He's marched down to the ring and he's looking to add a little bit of metal to it, a little piece of gold. We saw just weeks ago on Warzone in exhibition action, Sergeant Foxtrot actually came up short against Big Bernard. And Big Bernard, he is here to make sure the world knows. All eyes are on him. The spotlight is on him. He will make sure that this time he takes just a little bit more out of the American champion. He's looking to prove that what we saw just mere weeks ago was not a fluke. O'Connor roll and a kick out by Big Bernard. Sergeant Foxtrot amping up the aggression here on the challenger. And Big Bernard running right into a leaping pile driver. Hook in the leg. And a kick out by the big man, the big 300-pounder. Big Bernard is on an island on his own here for the past several weeks. We have gone quite some time without seeing his tag team partner, Headband Tommy Tanks. Big Bernard's got some skin in the game himself as a former champion, a former KPW tag team champion. One of the first hardcore champions that this company has ever seen, when that championship was at one point active. And look at the shift in strategy that we are seeing from the American champion, Sergeant Foxtrot here tonight. He is going out of his way. He is moving mountains just to make sure that he can keep the upper hand on Big Bernard. Irish whip into the ropes. Sergeant Foxtrot pumping the brakes. Whip it to the corner, back elbow. Catches Big Bernard flush across the jaw. Another O'Connor roll, center of the ring, and another kick out by the challenger. What a takedown by Sergeant Foxtrot, going for some quick liver strikes on the woolly mammoth. Big Bernard closing the gap with a bicycle kick. This has turned into a real prim and proper striking exchange here. Business is certainly picking up in the Kumite Coliseum here tonight. Packed, stacked, and sold out. These fans, the Kumite faithful, they have been hungering for more action ever since that 4-hour extravaganza known as Spring Stampede. Irish whip, sleeper hold, locking in the arm for extra leverage, turning it into a buffalo sleeper. Sergeant Foxtrot all fired up here. He is in control here. He's in the driver's seat. Foxtrot goes low with a drop kick to the knees. The best way to take down a big man is to chop him piece by piece. A proverbial lumberjack is the American champion, Sergeant Foxtrot, and he is in there. He is in that squared circle here tonight against the big redwood tree known as Big Bernard. Running kitchen sink onto the champion. A neck breaker to follow it up. Headlock takeover. And Sergeant Foxtrot, he is as vigilant as ever. He is as militant as ever. He is standing on all 10 toes here. Big Bernard perhaps retreating to the well one too many times. Foxtrot was ready and cinched in that abdominal stretch. Sergeant Foxtrot cinching and one hell of a toe hold there, otherwise known as a wishbone split. Big Bernard favoring that left leg of his. Irish whip, two-handed chokehold. The size, the strength advantage of the challenger coming into favor here, but who knows how much of an advantage he has at the moment. He's got quite a glaring weak point at the moment. But he's looking to close the gap. He's looking to make the difference. Big European uppercut. From the American champion. As a reminder, folks, the American Championship is on the line here tonight. It is up for grabs. Sergeant Foxtrot seemingly marching into tonight's bout with an impossible task on his hands. Breaking the curse of the championship. Expectations are high. He has quite the shoes to fill. Small package attempted. Big Bernard denies him. A knife edge chop, sending Big Bernard through the ropes. A drop kick takes him off the apron.
3.
It looked like Sergeant Foxtrot, he was firing himself up. He was looking to go for some aerial offense. Not very often when you see the American champion leave his feet for any occasion.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Sergeant Foxtrot, he is unloading outside the ring. The Kumite faithful in the first several rows again. Quite a personal experience here.
14, 15.
Out of 15, Big Bernard taking his sweet time gingerly. Marching up the steps, getting back into the ring at the count of 15. A big headbutt by Big Bernard. And the less said about that headbutt, the better. Big Bernard looking to play a bit dirty here, going for an underhanded choke. Sergeant Foxtrot crawls to the ropes. Lead official Slapthigh Jones having to get Big Bernard off of him. Boston Crab attempted by the champion. And Big Bernard, he is just hobbling on that bad leg at this point. That as Sergeant Foxtrot has gone out of his way to make it a point, make it a target. Crossbow lock, and the Sarge has broken the curse. What we saw unfold in this very ring here tonight was a much different outcome than the one we saw several weeks ago on the program. Sergeant Foxtrot came prepared. He did the research. He observed the field. We saw him get the upper hand on Big Bernard as part of the lethal lottery match on Saturday night. And tonight was no different. He picked out one hell of a weak point on the big man, chopping him down by the legs and then cinching in that bow and arrow hold to retain the KPW American Championship, a historic defense here tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, oh, what the hell is this? The lights have gone out in the Coliseum. Who is stepping up to the plate here? Oh my God! From one giant to another. That's the 525-pound man beast. That's Chris Billy. Sergeant Foxtrot, he knows the danger he is in. He's doing everything he can to quell the offense of this absolute monster. Sergeant Foxtrot trying to go for a pile driver on a 500-pound man. There was no way he was going to get the big man up. Chris Billy, he is looking to mark his spot here in KPW. He has set his targets. A body slam onto the 500-pounder. Foxtrot going for it again. And I think he's just pissing off the man beast in Chris Billy. He is seeing red. He smells blood in the water. He has cleared the ring. He's turning as he turns his attention to the floor. He looks to continue the attack, the assault on the American champion. Security not wanting to get involved, and who could blame him? Look at the size of this man. Foxtrot left all alone in a time of need. This was supposed to be an emphatic championship victory. This was supposed to be his night, his big moment. He's achieved what nobody else has achieved before. Sergeant Foxtrot, he's just too beat up. He's just too worn down. Slam Chris Billy again, but Chris Billy counteracts with one hellacious choke slam. And Chris Billy has just made his intentions crystal clear. As Sergeant Foxtrot thought he was in the clear after Big Bernard here tonight, he's got another thing coming. Look at the stage that's being set for our next monthly special event, Hysteria, on the 25th. The chance, the possibility that this 500+ pound monster is waiting in the wings to snatch up that American championship is just terrifying. Just absolutely terrifying. EMTs, medical staff, they're looking to tend to Sergeant Foxtrot here. What the hell is this? The lights have gone out once again. Looks like Chris Billy is looking to make another move. And the Rhinestone Cowboy is here. What a night of chaos this has been for KPW already. The Sauce, he's looking to lock eyes with the Man-Beast. He's looking to step up to the plate. And he just took his damn head off with that lariat. Cringed him, clocked him. And Chris Billy, he is in rough shape here. He's been completely blindsided, caught off guard. He thought he was the only man with eyes on the American Championship. The Sauce sizing up Chris Billy, sending him off the ropes. Spine on the pine. He's looking to go for the Luke Bach elbow. And the Sauce, it appears he's got a change of plans. He's looking to course correct. He's got bigger eyes than his stomach. Rockabye, the world's largest rockabye on Chris Billy. And Chris Billy, he is enraged. He is seeing red. Sergeant Foxtrot, he still has no idea where the hell he's even at. And the Sauce, so nice, he's gonna do it twice.
Knockout.
And the Sauce
It's cooking.
just laid out Chris Billy. And he's parting through the sea of EMTs. He has just snatched the American Championship off the gurney of Sergeant Foxtrot. Look at the elite caliber of challengers awaiting the Sarge now. The pressure is on for the war hero. And look who has eyes on the prize. We saw it firsthand with Chris Billy just moments ago. And then the entire landscape shifted. You could feel the tectonic plates of the earth moving when the Sauce dropped him with that rockabye. And I think he just made it crystal clear what he wants, that American Championship. But coming up next, speaking of champions, look no further because the Twitch champion, T-Nova, will be in action against Dynamite, Danny Axel. Dynamite Danny Axel, he's in one hell of a situation here. Probably needed to cleanse himself from that mess that Robbie Deuce was trying to create. stellar performance in Lethal Lottery just 48 hours ago from this man. First ever match for Danny Axel in Warzone history. But this might be an even bigger milestone, because this is the first singles bout of a man that just made his presence felt 48 hours ago, winning the Twitch Championship in his first KPW matchup. T-Nova. You saw him snatch the gold away from Steven Gielberg on Saturday night. James KZ, of course, involved in the mix. He was the crucial man involved in Team Nova's championship victory. We thought Steven Gielberg had it all won, but he turned his back from the action for just one moment too long, and before he even realized it, he was no longer a champion. T-Nova moving quick, looking to make one hell of an example out of Dynamite Danny Axel. And we've seen the lengths that Danny Axel is willing to go to achieve his end goals here in KPW. Who could forget his first official bout here inside the steel cage against Corey Sinclair, when he dove off the top, drilled the elbow right into the heart of Corey Sinclair to seal the deal. Dynamite Danny Axel, he's a seasoned veteran of the ring. He has seen his fair share of battles. He's picked up a lot of mileage on the road, but he is just a vintage that is just still in pristine condition, better shape than ever, arguably. And for a man that went the distance, nearly half an hour, starting at number 4 of that Lethal Lottery match. He's not even breaking a sweat in that ring. T-Nova, however, he has so much to prove here in KPW. He has already raised the bar so high. One of the hottest free agent signings that we've seen in quite some time. One of the most impactful signings that we've seen in quite some time. Backbreaker onto T-Nova. These two men almost equal in weight, but T-Nova having a distinct reach advantage. Wristlock reversal from the Twitch Champion, and he's feeling real good about this here tonight. He is feeling relieved that he does not have to defend this championship here. But you could almost bet, you can almost make it certain that he will have a challenger in time for our next monthly special event, Hysteria, April 25th. Dynamite Danny Axel looking to put it away early. Megan Tien take the plunge.
Count 2.
And T-Nova pops up at 2. Nova, one of the smoothest athletes that we've ever seen grace the squared circle here in KPW. Making one hell of a name for himself off the cuff. And this would only go to benefit the Twitch champion if he could pick up a landmark singles victory over Dynamite Danny Axel.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Danny Axel, he's not a man that feels particularly aggressive here, but T Nova's turning up his aggression, senton from the top down to the floor. Dynamite Danny Axel, he's gonna pick his moment to strike. He is going to be as patient and as disciplined we've ever seen any combatant here
2,
in KPW history.
4, 5.
And no qualms looking to take the action to the outside. He has no qualms getting his hands dirty if the occasion calls for it.
10, 11, 12,
We've seen him instill those teachings
14.
in many combatants over the years, including the now former world heavyweight champion in Pando. Regal plex by T Nova. Just folded up Dynamite Danny Axel like an accordion. Backslide cover. Look at his steal. And T Nova squeaks out of it. Gets the shoulder free. Shifts his body weight just enough to avoid the pinfall attempt. And Dynamite goes right for the guillotine choke. If you want to talk about another act that has been under the wing of Dynamite Danny Axel over the years in his time away from the ring, look no further than the BamBus, one of the most prominent tag teams in all of KPW. They'll be in action coming up next against the returning luchador sensations, High Velocity. Nova going quite the distance here against Dynamite Danny Axel, hanging in the balance. And Dynamite flying right into T Nova like a cruise missile. He's looking to follow it up here. Waistlock reversal. Abdominal stretches. T Nova gonna reach the ropes. Dynamite blocking it with his physical torso. Irish whip reversal from T Nova. Hurricane Rana. Knees on the shoulders and only a 1 count. Quick jab sends Dynamite packing through the ropes. And this is the feeling out process. This is when the strategy has to change drastically for Dynamite Danny Axel.
1.
Nova trying to bring things back inside the ring. Dynamite Danny Axel not finished with his plans outside though.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Count of 9. Both men getting up to the apron, stepping through the ropes, resuming old business. And as the word got around earlier today across social media, across all the KPW platforms, Our new world heavyweight champion, Popcorn Papi, has been graciously gifted the newly redesigned KPW World Heavyweight Championship. We will have candid footage of this from earlier in the morning for our main event of the evening. That Bunker Hill tag team match. Dynamite. We're gonna take T-Nova up top here. Cloud9 for the Twitch Champion, center of the ring. And another kick out by T-Nova. That lateral press just wasn't gonna cut it for Dynamite Danny Axel, and this is his game here. This is his ballpark. The minutes ticking away. Dynamite Danny Axel with the firm advantage, but T-Nova, he's got the heart, he's got the soul, he's got the spirit. And he's showing to the faithful here tonight that he's got quite the endurance too. Running senton onto Dynamite Danny Axel. Collar and elbow. Snap suplex attempted. Danny pushes him back into the turnbuckles. The whiplash of T-Nova's head on that bottom turnbuckle. That was gruesome. Dynamite sneaking in some knee strikes to the sternum of T-Nova. T-Nova collapsing down all fours. Backbreaker on to the Twitch Champion. More knee strikes to the gut of T-Nova. Looking to capitalize here. Maybe you knock the wind out of him. And Dynamite Danny Axel's comeback tour is in full swing here. All those years on the road, all that experience, and maybe a little bit of frustration courtesy of one Robbie Deuce coming through into one perfect storm for the Twitch Champion T-Nova, who put up one hell of a fight here tonight. There's no shame whatsoever in losing to a man the caliber and a man with the skill set that Dynamite Danny Axel has. No matter how you put it, no matter how you spin it, T-Nova is here to stay. He has got quite a bright future ahead of him in KPW, but Dynamite Danny Axel, his star is just shining a little bit brighter here tonight as he picks up one hell of a victory over T-Nova. And coming up next, speaking of men that are so intrinsically connected to Dynamite Danny Axel, speaking of his proteges, look no further than the BamBus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, as they'll be in tag team action against the returning High Velocity, Atmosphere, Ozone, the Luchador Sensations make their grand return to the ring here tonight. And look at the swagger on display from the BamBus. Two men that are just so young, so cocky, so bold, and so confident in their own abilities. And who could blame them? Spring Stampede, however, they might not have been the greatest night in their careers. They had one hell of a kickoff in Lethal Lottery, starting the match off with their mentor, Dynamite Danny Axel, a man that helped eliminate them. Of course, putting up a fight against one Corey Sinclair, who is still recuperating from that Iron Man performance. The old guard of the tag team division, the First Nation, Slarty Shuko, still on top after this past Saturday night. And they've had quite a marathon performance themselves at that show. Ricky Rhombus taking Ozone off the apron as he zeroes in on Atmosphere. Slarty Shuko, the tag team champions, watching from the skyboxes here tonight. They're quite the tour de force as a functioning unit in the Lethal Lottery match, and they went on to go double duty. They still put up one hell of a fight against the Raging Bulls. 41 minutes of uninterrupted combat for the First Nation. Thought the Raging Bulls had it won at multiple occasions during that bout, until Slarty took the Bulls to the outside and incapacitated them, preventing them from answering the 20 count. Quite a controversial victory, but we know the MO of the First Nation: a win is a win is a win. And even if they were on the receiving end of such a result like that, they would still be the tag team champions here today. But these two teams, they have one hell of a lead. They have quite the momentum in their favor. They could very well be the next team that steps up to Slarty and Shuko and takes them on for the tag team championships in time for Hysteria. Bam Dardino backing away, tagging in Ricky Rhombus, keeping the action fresh, conserving their stamina for the long haul. As we've seen the tag team action, the intensity of this division, they are more than prepared to go 30 minutes. They could go Broadway if they so choose. Big Hurricane Rana from Atmosphere. More agile of the two members of High Velocity, a side Russian leg sweep from Ricky Rhombus. Release German suplex, but Atmosphere lands on his feet. That full athleticism on display here. A big drop kick from the Masked Sensation. Hellacious back elbow from Ricky Rhombus. And we have plenty of action to follow next week on Warzone. We'll be seeing Ding and even more singles competition. This time going up against Greek Machismo. Nick Flawless. We've also received word that Dynamite Danny Axel is not choosing to pursue the KPW Twitch Championship at this moment in time, which has left an opening in the division. A Twitch Championship contender will be contested next week, as I've received information from the board of directors. The recently returned Pierre Cinema will be in action for the #1 contendership of the Twitch Championship, as he goes one-on-one against the prodigal son himself, Josue. As we saw the developments from earlier on tonight, the Sauce, Crisp Billy, they are making one hell of an impact in the American Championship division. And those two men will be butting heads in the ring next week on War Zone as well. As far as tag team action goes, we also will be seeing the Raging Bulls reignite an old feud as they take on David Rush, Hollywood Hannon, the Boise Boys in just 1 week time. Atmosphere springing into action. Bam Dardino looking to hit Atmosphere with a back elbow. Atmosphere hanging onto the ropes, preventing himself from losing that vertical base. He does not want to give any sort of headway, any kind of ground, any kind of lead for Bam Dardino to exploit. He has to remember what he's stepping into the ring against. Ricky Rhombus, a former hardcore champion. Bam Dardino, a former world heavyweight champion. But coming up here tonight, we will be seeing the world heavyweight champion, the new world heavyweight champion, in action in a tag team main event. Back elbow from Ricky Rhombus as he looks to clear the ring of High Velocity, all by his lonesome self, as he is a long ways away from his corner. But he's looking to keep that intensity up. He's looking to keep the aggression high. He is still in control of this bout, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what High Velocity is trying to avoid. That is what they are trying to take away from Ricky Rhombus. Irish whip. Look at him, me in the middle. Running big boot from Ricky Rhombus. The Boise Boys, High Velocity, the BamBus, all in serious contention to challenge for the tag team championships. Something's gonna have to give ahead of Hysteria on the 25th. And Bam Dardino gets the tag. Atmosphere gets the tag. Jawbreaker attempted by Atmosphere, but Bam Dardino not giving him any benefit here tonight, denying him a snap suplex on top of it, as he just dumps Atmosphere from the heavens with that pile driver. All four of these men, they're quite young. They have one hell of a distance to go as far as their careers can go. Running power bomb from Bam Dardino. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Count two.
Bam Dardino getting a bit egotistical there, getting a bit too cocky as Atmosphere was able to cinch in that enziguri counter. Tag made to Ozone. And they are looking to keep the action within the confines of their corner of the ring here. Bam Dardino almost as far away from his tag team partner as he could possibly be. But Bam Dardino, he knows the risk that he is taking here. He's looking to close the gap. Quick assist from the apron by Ricky Rhombus as Bam Dardino gets in the wrist lock. BamBus in control once again. Ricky Rhombus eating a drop kick, knocking him back into the corner. Bam Dardino making absolutely sure that he's still got a conscious mind here. His eyes still laser focused on the targets. Atmosphere sneaking in a tag at some point. A blind tag for the perspective of Ricky Rhombus. And a heavy forearm from Atmosphere takes down Ricky Rhombus. And it seems like the striking ability of High Velocity, it's a side that we haven't seen from them before. They've expanded their repertoire and all that time away. Ricky Rhombus getting Ozone off the apron. And here's the hubris, here's the ego, the cockiness, the arrogance of the BamBus. Taking their sweet time when they could be laying in even more of an offensive attack. Bam Dardino taken out with a swinging DDT. He's struggling to get back to his feet. Atmosphere caught in between the BamBus. Power slam counter by Bam Dardino. A leg drop to follow it up. Waistlock reversal. Schoolboy. And a kick out at one. Tandem offense. Double decker by the BamBus. Ricky Rhombus getting in position. And Ozone, just in the nick of time, breaks up that pin. I thought for sure that was going to be it right there. Atmosphere took one hell of a tumble, courtesy of that tandem offense, the double decker from the BamBus. And Atmosphere had little opportunity to even brace for the impact. He had no clue when Ricky Rhombus was going to leap from the top with that clothesline. Slot Thigh Jones losing a little bit of control here inside the ring. A tag made back to Atmosphere. Ricky Rhombus in a bit of a compromised position at the moment. Small package And a kick out at 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have tag team action to follow in our main event in the evening, as all 4 members of Bunker Hill will be in action against one another. Hurricane Rana cover, only a 1 count. As the weight disadvantage for Atmosphere comes back to bite him. Ricky Rhombus tagging out to Bam Dardino. Atmosphere in a justifiable position he'd rather not be in. German suplex, beautiful bridge. With the feet of Atmosphere reaching the ropes. Atmosphere not successful with that first jawbreaker attempt, getting all of it on the second, however. The perseverance, the persistence of this team is allowing them to go the distance with the BamBus here tonight. Ozone hedging all of his bets on that diving clothesline there, taking Bam through the ropes, but not capitalizing quick enough. Ozone relying on more grounded tactics. Showing a bit more aggression here. More than we've ever seen from High Velocity. Big back suplex onto Bam Dardino. Reverse sitting armbar. All that weight on the shoulders of Ozone, creating that extra pressure, that extra incentive. That's less force that Bam Dardino could use to force a submission if it wasn't for his tag team partner intervening. Ozone was in one hell of a position to get his arm snapped here tonight. Tag made out to Atmosphere. High Velocity in control here. Their first match back here in KPW. Ozone with a leg drop to the floor. Bam Dardino with a running powerbomb on Atmosphere.
8, 9.
Chaos. Control is breaking down in this bout here. The official Slapdive Jones giving Ricky Rhombus to the count of 5 to get off that top rope, but he does so with double knees to the lumbar region of Atmosphere. High Velocity using that 5 count to their advantage. Atmosphere looking to soar. Phoenix Splash. Followed up by a standing moonsault. And High Velocity, they are absolutely high octane here tonight. That much is absolutely certain. Another double suplex on the Bam Dardino. He's looking in absolutely rough shape right now. And who could blame him for a tag like that? That's probably the smartest decision he could have made going into this. Tagging out to Ricky Rhombus, who is certainly a lot less beat up than Bam Dardino is right now. That much is for sure. Look at the hunger of this locker room here tonight. Look at how so many people from the past, the present, and some of the people representing the future of this company are all stepping up to the plate here to make a lasting impression. When we say that KPW is the home of fighting spirit, it is no exaggeration here, folks. And matches like this is the perfect example. When you pull somebody off the streets and you ask them what makes tag team wrestling so great, when they ask you a question like that, you show them these four men take the fight to one another here tonight on War Zone. Ricky Rhombus clearing the ring. One hell of an opening. Bam Dardino getting enough of a break in the corner to return to the ring. Atmosphere trying to intervene for his partner. Bam Dardino locks eyes with the legal man, Ozone. Bam Dardino stopping Ozone in his tracks. Sitting reverse armbar. Irish whip. Nobody home. Ricky Rhombus running quite the distraction on High Velocity here. Step up enziguri by Atmosphere. I think he's bought. I think Bam Dardino was bought just enough time. He elbows his way free. Bam Dardino, he is being forced to walk a very thin line here tonight. He is being pushed to his limits, his boundaries by a reinvigorated High Velocity. Vertical suplex by Bam Dardino. Ricky Rhombus was ready to get the tag, but Bam Dardino having ulterior motives. And that little extra bit of aggression coming back to bite. The BamBus here tonight. As the Atmosphere holds the ground over the blue chipper. Shotgun drop kick denied. Ricky Rhombus getting as much distance with that tag rope as possible. Waistlock transition. Back heel kick from Atmosphere. Swinging neck breaker to follow things up. And he gets all of that shotgun drop kick springboard action. Successful the second time around. And that has just been the story of High Velocity throughout this night. You know, a story about perseverance, a story about determination, persistence. They're not letting anything slow them down here. O'Connor roll. A 1 count. Bam Dardino with the best positioning in that ring possible to break it up. Single leg Boston Crab by Ricky Rhombus. He's doing anything and everything that he can to slow down High Velocity at this point, at this rate. Another O'Connor roll. 1, 2. And a kick out by Ricky Rhombus. He had to dig down deep to make that one happen. Ricky Rhombus finding his openings wherever he can, making the most out of them when he gets the chance to. And this has been quite the physical contest between these two teams. You can see the fury that these four men are absolutely brawling with. Waist lock transition. Sunset flip, 1 count. And Atmosphere tags right back in. Noggin knocker, but Bam Dardino stands his ground. He stands tall. Bam Dardino very vigilant with the submission holds here tonight. We saw that work out in the American Championship match earlier on tonight for Sergeant Foxtrot. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you are joining us for the program here and now, you have missed out on quite some action already. Moonsault from Bam Dardino. We have plenty more action to call here for the evening. But importantly, we saw Ding make his return to action on Warzone for the first time in about 10 months, since June of 2025, when he took on Steven Gielberg and made quick work of him, light work, as he was able to put the director away in about 3 minutes, not even. Also earlier tonight, we saw the American Championship up for grabs. Sergeant Foxtrot breaking the championship curse against Big Bernard. Another wham bam, thank you ma'am. But Atmosphere grabbing that bottom rope instinctively to keep the match alive. And I think the best chances for the BamBus have just been washed away here. Just before on the program, however, we saw the new Twitch champion, one of the newest signees here in KPW, a man that joined the folds this past Saturday night as part of an open, into what developed into a triple threat open challenge. T Nova, the KPW Twitch champion, put up one hell of a fight against Dynamite Danny Axel, coming up just short in his endeavors here. Crucifix bomb by Ozone. Where the hell are any of these men finding the wherewithal to keep fighting at this level, at this intensity? Two minutes to midnight for these four men here. 30-minute time limit in effect here for TV time. Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, the BamBus, Atmosphere, and Ozo High Velocity. They've gone quite the distance here tonight. Hurricanrana counter by Ozone. Bam Dardino the way that he was moving on the apron. He was looking to get in perfect position to try and break up any kind of submission, any kind of nerve hold, any kind of pinfall, any chance of vulnerability. He was going to make sure that High Velocity couldn't pick it out. Bam Dardino getting the tag in, providing some much needed relief for Ricky Rhombus. Another collar and elbow tie up. Manhattan drop by Bam Dardino. 1 minute left on the clock, not even. Cover! And a kick out at 2. Bam Dardino knew that the clock was running out. Time is running short. He made a desperate play. The pin atmosphere. He's going for it again. Lateral press. Ozone just doing everything he can to shave the time off the clock here. Hook in the leg. A rope break. This time bailing out atmosphere. 10 seconds left. Northern Lights, but Ozone's not the legal man. Bam Dardino, Ricky Rhombus, these 4 men have just gone to a time limit draw. What a battle between the BamBus, between High Velocity. Things are certainly heating up. Things are certainly shaking up in the tag team division, and this is exactly the kind of competition that the First Nation craves. An order of chaos unfolding here tonight as part of an anniversary special edition of War Zone. These two teams showed quite a bit of promise here tonight. They are looking to make it right in time for our next monthly special, Hysteria, live on April 25th, 9/8 Central on the Team Adhesive Broadcasting Network. But that is not the only tag team match here tonight, because coming up next, our main event of the evening, Bunker Hill tag team action. What many people would consider a victory lap for the new world heavyweight champion, Popcorn Papi. You could put that picture in a museum. One of the most noble moments in KPW history. Popcorn Papi slaying the beast, hunting down the Siberian silver bear Pando just 48 hours ago to make sure that the world knew once and for all who the real undisputed world heavyweight champion would be. And we've seen it all over social media. We've seen it all over the news, trending worldwide. The newly redesigned World Heavyweight Championship here in KPW. We have exclusive footage from earlier in the day. As we get to hear from Popcorn Papi, we get to see his live reaction as he is graciously handed this new World Heavyweight Championship for all of his efforts, for all the hard work he put in to get to this point, to get to the top of the mountains after 2 long years of struggle.
Boys, we made it. Not only did we prevent the Great Vision from becoming Parliament's reality, we made it our own prophecy, Mang. I couldn't be prouder than I am right now with y'all. We got the big one. Mission accomplished.
I heckin' knew you were gonna beat that red devil at the Stampede. You proved to the world that you were every bit good enough to call yourself the champ. I'm also figuring out why they call this the heavyweight title. This is heavy as shit.
Gentlemen, pardon my interruption, and I understand if you aren't the most open-minded to giving up that prize again. But I promise you, this one is worthwhile. Popcorn Papi, you've really done a lot to restabilize things here in KPW. Your leadership brought Parliament to its knees. You joined an elite few that managed to pin Pando. There's little that you have yet to achieve here in KPW. A new world champion marks a new era. And a new champion of your caliber needs to embark that fateful journey with the proper kit. Here is the brand new KPW World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Are you serious, Roger? Dog, this belt is beautiful. I'm gonna defend this baby from heel to high water, Mang. A new era with a new belt. And I'm gonna be a champ that represents the common Mang, no matter where they is. This calls for one last mission, boys. Friendly competition, a Bunker Hill Tag Team main event on the 2-year anniversary of War Zone. Popo, you ride in with me tonight. Oh sheep Mang, I can't get over this gorgeous belt. Still caned, but Lee, I won this man.
Solo, go find K-Dog. Let him know we got a victory lap to take in the main event.
That is one hell of a detail there. Look at the beauty of world's first glimpse at that World Heavyweight Championship. Solo, K-Dog, former KPW Tag Team Champions. They've waved that Bunker Hill banner stronger than anybody else. Defended the honor of Bunker Hill just as well as anybody else. Standing side by side, the heartthrob Popo and the KPW World Heavyweight Champion Popcorn Papi. Standing side by side, engaging in some friendly competition. This is quite possibly the greatest night, the greatest weekend in the life of Popcorn Papi. All that hard work paid off. Popo immediately getting in the tag. He wants to prove himself just a little bit here tonight against his comrades, his fellow founding fathers. Popo clearing the ring of Solo, making quick work of the Scrapyard Saint. K-Dog intervening for his tag team partner. Suplex attempted, but he floats over. Pendulum backbreaker by K-Dog. Back elbow counter from Popo. Popo hitting the ropes. We're gonna go for another forearm strike, but nobody home this time around. Jawbreaker onto Solo. And all four of these men, they have contributed something absolutely special as part of Bunker Hill. All four of them have achieved some obtainable form of success underneath that Bunker Hill banner. We didn't think that anybody in this ring would be in shape at the start of the month. We didn't think that Popo, Solo, or K-Dog, for that matter, would be cleared after the pummeling, that vicious beatdown that Pando dished out. Popcorn Papi bringing the Twitch Championship to Bunker Hill, now bringing the World Heavyweight Championship along with him. K-Dog bringing the Tag Team Championships with him. Oppo and Solo both becoming American Championships in their time with the group. And this is quite poetic as K-Dog squares up against the very man that brought him into Bunker Hill to begin with, the man that saved him all those months ago from Parliament. And who knows what kind of state Parliament is in at the moment. It's been absolutely chaotic. No semblance of unity within the ranks of Parliament whatsoever, but Bunker Hill, they are hanging in strong. They're hanging in tough, but Popcorn Papi, he's gonna have no shortage of challengers. Saw Ding make one hell of a statement earlier on tonight against the likes of Steven Gielberg. We saw Lethal Lottery this past Saturday night when Jedi won that titular battle royale and earned the Lethal Lottery contract starting on April 1st, starting on Wednesday. Once that grace period wraps up for Popcorn Papi, he's gonna need eyes in the back of his head regarding the Viceroy, because he could cash in at any time, at any place, at anywhere. But he does have, but Popcorn Papi, our World Heavyweight Champion, he does have one ace in the hole here. He does have the backing of some of his closest comrades, his closest friends. A true brotherhood in Bunker Hill. It'd be enough to have the backing of one friend. You'd be lucky enough in this industry to even have one friend left once your career is all said and done. But Popcorn Papi, he's been incredibly fortunate. He's been incredibly lucky to find himself in the situation that he has with these three. Snap DDT onto Solo, hook in the leg. Not even a 1 count. Wasting no time kicking out of that one.
One, two.
A-Dog focusing on Popo on the outside. Solo taking the fight right to the world champion. Popcorn Papi stepping through the ropes.
7, 8.
Popo going low
10.
on K-Dog. And they've had quite some history with one another, but they have made quite the differences. They've made quite the olive branch to quell the advances of Parliament.
3, 4.
Now Popcorn Papi gonna take the fight to the outside, deciding against it, looking to return back to his corner. Oppo cinching in a figure 4 on Solo. Big drop kick in the corner. Tag out to the pit bull. Board buster onto the heartthrob. K-Dog, eyes in the back of his head, hitting the ropes just hard enough for Popcorn Papi to lose his balance and go flying off the apron. Headlock takeover, tag made to the world champion, and this crowd is lighting up. They are electric for Popcorn Papi. Popcorn Papi catching K-Dog, going for those big back-to-back headbutts, but K-Dog was ready for it. If anybody knows how to throw a mean headbutt, it's the Pit Bull. And Popcorn Papi, he may be picking one hell of an uphill battle when it comes to striking. Dog and knocker. K-Dog stands tall. Exchange of strikes. Popcorn Papi knocked into the ropes. Popo makes the tag, providing some much needed relief for the World Heavyweight Champion. And look at the stalemate inside this ring. These four men know each other so well. The chemistry between these four men, the bond that they share, the common goals that they achieved, is just absolutely off the charts. Tag made to Solo. Another tag made out to Popcorn Papi. Double back body drop, and Solo got some considerable height out of that one. Irish whip into the corner. Popcorn Papi positioning a Death Valley driver, pardon me. And a kick out by Solo. Forearm strike attempted by Popcorn Papi. Solo catches it into a reverse armbar. Side Russian leg sweep from Popcorn Papi. Drilling a knee into the heart of Solo. Forearm strike once again. Solo ducks it, but K-Dog eats all of it. Popcorn Papi still hitting a target, just not the one that he was expecting. Another Death Valley driver, cover, and a kick out by the Scrapyard Saint. And these four men, they respect each other so much. They know damn well that they do not need to hold anything back. At the end of the day, they hold something much more valuable than any kind of championship. They hold something much more valuable than any sort of outside force. Sleeper hold cinched in deep on Solo. Oppo trying to intervene. Is forced to return back to his corner. World champion Popcorn Papi moving in on Solo. Trying to hit the ropes once again. Getting a bit caught up by the distractions. Popcorn Papi thinking of pile driver. Solo not giving him that chance, denying him. what could have been a serious blow for the Scrapyard Saint in our main event of the evening. And Popcorn Papi, he's looking to slow down the Scrapyard Saint as much as he can. Schoolboy and Popcorn Papi pulls one over. Popcorn Papi has just bested one of his closest allies in the Scrapyard Saint Solo. And what a hell of a way to kick off his championship reign, standing on top of the world with some of his closest friends as brethren. Solo, Popo, dusting each other off. Real sign of sportsmanship. Oh my God! What the hell just happened? What are you doing? What the hell are you doing, K-Dog? And Popcorn Papi, he's just been split wide open. Out of all the nights that this ever could have happened, he chose tonight. K-Dog chose tonight to make this kind of move? Are you freaking serious? Solo, Popo, they're still up in the aisleway here. They're just absolutely distraught here. They don't know what the hell to make of all this. K-Dog moving like a damn snake in the grass, like a damn Judas. What an absolutely sickening display here. K-Dog just takes the fight to an almost helpless Popcorn Papi. You know, it was no, with the hindsight, with the power of hindsight, with what we are seeing unfold here, I don't think it was any coincidence that we didn't see K-Dog alongside the rest of Bunker Hill to celebrate Popcorn Papi's championship victory. And Popcorn Papi, he's doing everything he can to fight back, but this is just an uphill battle from here on out. He could have never seen this coming. This is the man that he brought in the Bunker Hill to begin with. Brought him in like family. Treat him as if he was his own brother. Go for a third definitive Riz Crusher. And that's what it's been all about. From the moment that this man won the world championship, we saw the way that he was locking eyes with Popcorn Papi. We saw his lack of appearances, his no-show earlier in the day, the Popcorn Papi was handed that new World Heavyweight Championship. And this Coliseum the boos are absolutely deafening, and K-Dog deserves every damn bit of it. The Pit Bull is just taking a World Heavyweight Championship for himself. That's what it's all been about right there. That's what it's been all about. He's been picking out an opportunity like this for God knows how long. This is the legacy that K-Dog is picked out here as we get another look at. I can't believe we're gonna have another look at this. He's got a whole lot of explaining to do. He's got a whole lot of explaining to do next week. What an absolutely sickening way. I can't believe we're ending Warzone like this here tonight. I've been Tapey Styles, the only man I can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. All I have to say to K-Dog is